Just thought I'd share with you guys my 1998 Harley Davidson Road Glide I picked up last summer. I've always been partial to these bikes. Even as a kid, I liked them when they were the Tour Glide. Most people think they're ugly, they look like a snowmobile or whatever, but I've just always had a thing for them. And I've been around Evo powered Harleys pretty much my whole life. My dad had one when I was growing up. He had two of them when I was growing up as a kid. So I'm pretty familiar with them. I know how to work on them. I'm not a big fan of the twin cams, but I like the Road Glide. I like how they restyled the fairing, made it smaller and all that when they came out. Because 1998 is the first year of the Road Glide. It's the only year that you could get an Evolution engine, which, as I said before, I'm partial to. It took me quite a while to find this bike. Like I said, being made only a single year, 1998, they're kind of hard to come by. There's a lot of like the cream colored and brown ones. There's not a lot, but there's more of those than black. It took me forever to find a black one. I've done some custom mods to it, personal touches. Like I put this tuck and roll Saddlemen seat on it, and it's a huge improvement over stock, at least for the driver's seat. The passenger seat, not so much. The step-up design is like sitting on a 2x6, according to my wife. I put the dirt bike handlebars on it and FM risers. I'm just I've ridden dirt bikes my whole life, and I like the contour of those bars. I actually have something similar on my Softail. I changed out the buckhorns for those. And I put a Bluetooth stereo in. When I got the bike, the stereo didn't work. So this was like, I think $30 on Amazon. I didn't know exactly what was wrong with the stereo that was in it. So I thought, well, I'll spend $30 on a cheapo Bluetooth one, see how it works. And I was actually pleasantly surprised with it. It's pretty clear, it's loud, and the Bluetooth works great. Like, I can have my phone in the house and it'll connect to this bike 50 feet away. It's pretty bizarre. I also put these halo LED lights. Factory light on this thing was way dimmer than I liked. I had actually almost gotten hit head on a couple times by people. I don't know if they just didn't see me or what, but actually it was one particular neighbor that was in my opposing lane on two separate occasions, like almost hit me head on just a mile away from my house. So I thought, well, maybe I ought to put a brighter light in it. And these have the integrated signals in them. I'll power it up. When I got it, I had to do a couple little things to it. The front wheel bearing was out of it. It growled pretty bad. It had a warped rotor. I just got on Gyra Cycles and bought the cheap rotors they had. They work pretty good. I've actually got one of the same rotors on my Softail on the back, and I was happy with it. It's been on there for about 10 years. It had somebody had done an oil change on the transmission and stripped out the drain plug. It actually, when I test rode the bike, I had to go to Maryland to get it. I'm from Ohio. And this guy hands me a helmet when I was getting ready to test ride it, and I was like, I'm just going around the block. He says, no, you got to have a helmet. They'll write you a ticket. I can't remember if we were in Pennsylvania or Maryland, but it was wherever it was we were at, it was right close to Maryland. I met him at a Sheetz gas station. So I take his helmet, and he tells me, if you follow this road out a couple miles, you'll be out of town and you can kind of open it up. So that's what I did. I followed the road out a couple miles, did a U-turn, and I thought, well, maybe I ought to get on it a little bit, make sure it doesn't pop out of gear or anything, at least see if there's any issues with the transmission under load. And I pulled out, and I just took off, pretty easy in first. And then when I got into second, I hammered on it pretty good and shifted into third, and the bike slid like completely sideways. Like I was like a flat tracker going down a 4-lane road. It scared me to death. And I knew there was something going on because my Softail is 200 pounds lighter than this. It's got the same engine, and my Softail won't even kick sideways on dry pavement. So I got back to the gas station where I met the guy. The whole time I'm just thinking, man, especially when it was going sideways down the road, I was like, the only thought going through my head was I was just so glad this guy gave me a helmet to wear because I'm about to crash this bike, But I kept it upright, got it straightened out. By the time I got back to the guy, I was shaking like a leaf on a tree, and I couldn't even hardly talk. So I start walking around the bike, and I seen this like film, like a sheen of oil. They covered everything pretty much from the transmission back, soaked the rear tire, the saddlebags, all that. So I get to looking, and there's no drain plug in the transmission, and I'm like, well, that ain't good. He says, yeah, I stripped it out last time I did an oil change, and I put a rubber stopper in there. So basically he stuck a cork in it. This guy, mind you, had told me that if I wanted to, I could probably ride this thing back to Ohio, 4 hours away. I didn't. I took a trailer with me to get it. So I was actually able to use that to negotiate $1,000 off the price. I was pretty confident that it didn't hurt the transmission, which I've put probably 5,000 miles on the bike since I've had it. And it shifts fine. There's no weird noises or nothing. Nothing crazy coming out of the transmission. So, yeah, basically I just brought it home, cleaned it up, put these handlebars and risers on it, new seat, and the stereo, headlight, that's about it. I've just rode it. It's got I can't even remember what it's called. It's M&M fuel injection, Magneti Morelli or Morelli Magneti, something like that. Most everybody hates. It's been pretty problematic on the Harley Davidsons in the late 90s and early 2000s. Luckily, this thing runs great. I haven't had any issues. I don't know if it's mainly because it's mostly stock. I guess once you get to putting aftermarket stuff on them and different cams and intakes and whatever, that's what really makes them finicky. But as far as this thing goes, I mean, it runs really good. I've taken it on a couple 3-4 hour trips and not had any issues. I do have a tour pack for it. I don't know. I mean, if I took it on a long trip, maybe. I'm thinking about going to the Smokeout Rally in North Carolina this summer, or fall. I think it's in September. I'll probably stick the tour pack on it then. But as far as me just riding around here, I kind of like the looks of it the way it is. So I'll fire it up now, let you guys hear it. It's got Reinhardt True Dual exhaust. Sounds pretty good. It's kind of quiet until you get on it, and then it wakes up a little bit. So there you have it. This is my 1998 Road Glide. That's about all I got to tell you about it. Really happy with it. Love the ride. It's exactly what I've been looking for.